Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Sheff United Way match reaction. I've just watched Sheffield United draw 0-0 at Bloomfield Road against Blackpool. Now, were we robbed of 2 points? Should we have won that game? Yes, it looks certainly like it. Yeah, I was watching it on the TV tonight. Wasn't able to get down to Blackpool. It's my wife's birthday. I asked her, do you fancy having your birthday at Pleasure Beach? And believe it or not, that didn't go down as well as what I expected. But no, yeah, watched it on TV on the red button. By the way, the commentator on there, absolutely shocking. At one point, no, at 3 points. The first point he said that we got no players over the, sorry, Howrahan's the only player that's over the age of 20, which Adam Davis, I'm not sure how old he is, but I'm sure he's older than 20. Then he said that we've got loads of experience, loads of attacking experience on the bench. Then later on, he said we've got no experience on the bench. So make of that what you will. Apologies for that. There we go. You probably can hear me a bit better now. So, yeah, we got robbed. We got absolutely robbed because, let's be honest, I'll talk about it now. Ollie Norwood on the edge of the box, takes a touch, smashes the ball. Not quite as accurate as I would have liked it to have been, because if that had just flown straight in the back of the net, we wouldn't have had any problems whatsoever. But the ball apparently, like I say, I've not seen it. I've watched it on the red button, and there was absolutely no replays whatsoever where you could see anything. All I thought was someone must be in an offside position. Someone must be blocking the keeper and being in an offside position. Now, what I've been told since is that it hit Jack Robinson on the back and ended up in the back of the net. So you must think Jack Robinson's offside. Was he offside, though? Was he bugger? So apparently the linesman has given Billy Sharp offside for blocking the view of the goalkeeper when he wasn't blocking the view of the goalkeeper. So, yeah, by the sounds of that, we were robbed. Like I said, I did not see it because my other gripe about this game is the fact that I don't know whether Sky Sports are doing this to kind of cover the referee's back or the linesman's back, but I've just watched back the highlights that were on the Sky Sports website, and I think they showed one Sheff United attack, and they showed the rest of them were Blackpool attacks. Now, 2 goals we had disallowed tonight, 2 goals, neither of them shown on the Sky Sports football website. So the first one being Sander Berger forcing the ball over the line, apparently, and they didn't show that. Second one being Norwood. So we'll go through it bit by bit. I'll try and make it a quick one tonight, guys, as yeah, none of us really enjoyed most of this game, to be honest. The first half I did. The Blades started the quicker of the sides, 100%. I thought we were really good, and I thought Ndiaye was the one that was taking the ball to the Blackpool defence. I don't know whether it's because Ndiaye hasn't played that much football recently, that Sharp and Morgan Gibbs-White are used to each other, and then throwing Ndiaye in there with his attacking qualities, they weren't too sure where to run, when to play 1-2s, when to run off the defender and stuff like that. So I'm not sure whether that was the problem tonight, but certainly in that first half, just things did not, the final ball just wasn't good enough, was it really? That was all night, and that's probably been the last couple of weeks, to be fair. Since the Borough game, so only the last 2 games. But yeah, it wasn't quite good enough tonight. But saying that, like I said, we probably should have won that game. The reason why I mentioned that we just weren't good enough in that final third was Ndiaye, 12 minutes in, he nicks the ball and he's on the break. It was 3-on-3. It was Ndiaye, Morgan Gibbs-White and Billy Sharp. He runs at the defence. He lays the ball perfectly into Sharp's path, and really, Sharp could have possibly just run onto this, but he brings it back. He takes it onto his left foot. Then he takes it back onto his right. The defenders are all at sea. And then he tries to curl it into that bottom corner. And how he shaped up to shoot, I thought this was going in the back of the net. He hit it with some veracity as well, and he just goes wide. Morgan Gibbs-White was absolutely screaming for the ball, to be honest. as he was in the next one where the Blades robbed the ball again. The ball gets played out to Berger from Billy Sharp. He just has a slash at it, really. And I'm to blame as well, because I was shouting to Sander Berger, shoot, because we all know he's got a good shot on him. But it was just completely off balance, and he could have laid this into Morgan Gibbs-White, and he may have had a better chance of scoring a goal there. And that was a bit frustrating, because Morgan Gibbs-White, 2 chances within 2 minutes where he could have been slipped in, and they didn't do it. They chose to shoot. Then in the 17th minute, we had the goal disallowed. The ball comes in from a corner from Ben Osborne. The keeper kind of comes for it. I thought the keeper was very, very good tonight for Blackpool, I will be honest. But not in this situation. A couple of situations when he's come out for crosses and not quite got them. And the keeper came out, did not claim it. The ball gets knocked around in the box, and then Sander Berger is on there. I think Morgan Gibbs-White tries to flick it in, kind of gets a little bit on it, and then Sander Berger forces it over the line. Sander's running off celebrating and looking at the linesman thinking, yeah, I know this is in. So it must have gone over the line. It didn't look like it to me on the TV, but he runs away like he scored, and then he sees the linesman and he's like, oh, God. So you know straight away then that something's not quite right. And the linesman, I'm not quite sure what he gave it for. It could have been an offside. It could have been a foul in there. Who knows? But when you're watching on the red button, you don't have the commentators. You just don't get the same information. I'm assuming it was offside because the goalkeeper came out to claim the ball and he's massively off his line. So when Morgan Gibbs-White flicks that ball towards Sander Berger, I'm assuming there's only one player kind of further to their goal line than there should be. And obviously when the goalkeeper's in front of the ball, there needs to be 2. So that's not given. Bit gutted about that because I think we deserved a goal in that first half. However, I wouldn't say poorly we did in the final third, but we certainly could have been better. We still deserved a goal, I think. All our pressing was fantastic. We were pushing them back. We were having 4 and 5 players just hunting their defenders down at times, with Norwood pushing up, with Sander Berger pushing up to kind of join Sharp and Dye and Morgan Gibbs-White in that kind of trying to kind of box him in. And it worked really, really well. All of that first half, really. I only think Blackpool had a couple of attacks, a couple of dangerous attacks anyway. Obviously, we'll get onto those in a second. But then in the 19th minute, the long ball straight from Egan, I believe it was, all the way through to Sharp. It was almost like a Coventry against us. But that goalkeeper, he was off his line every 2 seconds. And do you know what? It's horrible to watch a goalkeeper being so assured coming off his line and clearing balls like that. Just being the sweeper keeper, if you like, the Manuel Neuer. But if you were a Blackpool fan, you would be extremely happy with how the goalkeeper comes straight off his line as soon as he senses danger and gets rid of it. But Sharpie at that point, not quite sharp enough, to be honest. But yeah, there's been a lot of occasions this season where Sharpie's just not had the legs to, or not had the pace. And I know he's never really had pace, but these days it's certainly more difficult to get those legs moving in a quick way, shall we say. 19th minute, Norwood, poor shot on target. He got the ball on the left-hand side, had a go. It was never going in. The thing is, we've seen Norwood shoot from distance before. In the past, I'll welcome him to have a shot. But in the last kind of season or two, his shooting boots have not quite been there. Seen him score loads of goals for Fulham, for Reading. First season for us, he scored a couple of goals from distance. It's just like it doesn't seem to be there anymore. And the shot that he scored from wasn't a particularly good one, I don't think. I think it was pretty much going down the keeper's throat before it hit Robinson on the back. But yeah, to be fair, Norwood's probably a better... he's got a better shot anyway than a lot of players. So if he's getting the ball on the edge of the box, I'd rather him clip it into the box. But if he's going to have a go, fair enough. There could be worse players that could have a shot, like Reece Norrington-Davies in that second half. That was not a great one, let's put it that way. 24th minute, this is their big chance for me. Medine makes a darting run to the front post, sort of. The ball comes in and he flicks that header just over the bar. Egan is nowhere near him. He just peels off Egan. Egan can't get near him. So, yeah, not the best from Egan, but Medine heads over, so that's fine. But at this point, the Blades are absolutely all over Blackpool. We're a far better side, and you just think, where was this at Coventry? But it certainly didn't last like that, I don't think, especially not in that second half. I don't know whether the lads were tired from pressing them so much in the first half, and these games coming thick and fast are really kind of putting pressure on them because we're not able to switch the side like we'd kind of like to. We can switch one player. That's all it is right now. 36th minute, Iliman Ndiaye carries the ball right up to their box, lays it out wide to Reece Norrington-Davies, which is, I wouldn't want to say a one-on-one, but he lays him out on the left-hand side, and there's no defender around him for ages and ages. He controls the ball not very well, doesn't take it into his path very well. He waits and has a shot. It's blocked. And that's your left wing back. And the thing is, an on-form Ender Stevens would be taking that into his path and having a good shot. And the thing is, when you've got right wing backs and left wing backs, and you've got 5 defenders, you need to have them wing backs getting forward. And he did get forward really, really well in that point. But when you get into those advanced positions, you need to have a final product, whether it's a shot, whether it's a good cross, whether you bring the ball back inside and lay it off to someone else. He had loads and loads of time to pick his pass, pick his shot, and he just had it blocked. A couple of those tonight, though, so it wasn't just him. Another one, a big one in the 37th minute. Medine has a free header, unchallenged, no one around him, straight at Wes. He didn't get enough connection on it, he didn't get enough power on it. But it was straight at Wes, so it's fine, but it's not good enough, really, is it? Having someone like Medine, who we've seen score loads of headed goals in his career, unmarked, unchallenged, for him to head it on goal, not good enough, really. Then straight after that, when Wes has got it in his hands, he smashes that ball, almost a pinpoint ball, to Morgan Gibbs-White's foot. He just runs away from him, and sweeper keeper himself comes out and clears it. Really, really frustrating. Next up, probably the shot of the game, Bowler on his left foot for Blackpool. Very, very good player. My dad texted probably about this time, maybe just a little bit after, saying, Bowler, they're left-footed guy with the headband. We need to sign him. It's not as easy as that these days. But especially with Blackpool being quite close to us at the moment. But yeah, he's a great player. He really was. He showed it all night. I'm going to talk about a couple more of his attempts on goal tonight. But this one, left-footed shot, hits it. Kind of like almost dips over Wes, hits the crossbar. And then they have a shot blocked, which is, can't remember if it was Norrington-Davies or Egan that got on him really, really quickly. That was really, really good from him. And then 45th minute, Morgan Gibbs-White slides the ball across to Sander Berger, and Sharp, he just can't get on the end of it. It's really frustrating. We've got it into a great position. He lays it across, and I think it was a combination of Berger and Sharp in there, and just neither of them really just could get that ball and carry it and have a good shot. But yeah, so the Blades ran the show in the first half. Ndiaye was my number one in this game, in this first half anyway. I tweeted that, and then somebody tweeted back 10 minutes into the second half saying, Ndiaye's barely touched the ball. It's like, he did in the first half. In the second half, not as much. That's obviously why he was brought off. But I thought we had a fantastic first half. Great energy, great pressing. We passed the ball quick. We moved the ball quick. When we got the ball, we carried it quickly as well. It was great to see. Morgan Gibbs-White, not quite his day for me all game, really. That first half, when Ndiaye was bringing the ball through and laying it off, and he was trying to kind of do his flicks and tricks, it wasn't coming off. I think it came off once tonight in the second half to Sander Berger, and he hit a cross that was blocked. But yeah, this first half was certainly kind of our best half in the last 2 games anyway. Yeah, second half flattered to deceive. I think that we came out and kind of just expected to be the team on top. And they definitely came back into the game. I'm not sure whether, like I said earlier, we were tired or whether, I don't know, sometimes when you have a little break, you just don't come out the same team. And I feel like we could have played another half an hour at that intensity. But when, like I say, when you have a break and you chill out a little bit, you listen to the manager talking, you chat about what you can do, this, that, and the other. It kind of breaks you up a little bit. And I feel like they came out kind of like we came out in the first half. But between the 45th and kind of the 60th minute, nothing really happened. There was a bending cross put in. I think it could have been by Bowler that 𝐍𝐸 pushed out. Bit of a dodgy one, ball coming in, and I think 𝐍𝐸 just tried to take control and come out and palm it away. There was not really anyone around, but it was a dangerous ball into the box. A really, really tough one on the 64th minute, because if this would have ended up in the back of the net, a lot of Blades fans would have been really, really annoyed at Kyron Gordon, because the ball gets played through and he's just kind of off balance, I think, and he gets pushed off the ball way too easy. Hamilton goes through on the left-hand side, clears the crossbar with his shot. But if that would have gone in the back of the net, yeah, Kyron Gordon would have been to blame for that, because the ball was played through and he could have cut that out, or at least used his body to push the striker out of the way. As a centre-back, you've got to be more commanding than that, in my opinion. And at this point, I'm thinking, we've completely stopped playing. We've completely stopped pressing. It's really frustrating to watch, especially how well we played in the first half. It was kind of like a Middlesbrough-Coventry situation where we played so well against Middlesbrough and so badly against Coventry. It was almost like in that first half we played so well, took it to them, and then in the second half we just kind of let them come on to us, which was really, really frustrating to see. Then Bowler takes on Robinson on the right-hand side. He's got about 3 men round him, and we just let him have a shot. We let him have a shot, and I don't know whether they were dying to trying to stop him to have a shot, but it seemed like we just stood off him, and just thought, yeah, he's going to have a shot with his right, and he's probably not going to score because he's a left-footed player. But it flashed past the post. We got a goal kick out of this, but I think 𝐍𝐸's got a fingertip to it. So well done, 𝐍𝐸's. Good save there. At the 69th minute, Iliman Ndiaye came off for 𝐍𝐸. I thought it was a bit harsh because Ndiaye had a very good first half, but he wasn't quite himself in the second half. Great to see him back and playing as well as what he did in the first half, though. I could see what they were doing, trying to send Berger a little bit further forward, but I don't really think Berger did much when he went into a more advanced position. But 𝐍𝐸, for me, I thought he was really, really poor when he came on. Really bad. A couple of situations where he just wasn't pressing. He was stood off him, and it looked like he'd played 90 minutes, not some of the other players. And I'm not going to get onto this because nothing really happened from it. But what I wanted to say was the fact that 𝐍𝐸, he was miles in front of Reece Norrington-Davies. And I know that Norrington-Davies is quicker than 𝐍𝐸, but 𝐍𝐸 had been on 5 or 10 minutes. Norrington-Davies had played pretty much 80, 85 minutes, something like that. And the ball goes out to kind of their right centre-back, I think it was. And we needed to put pressure on him. 𝐍𝐸 was in a position to sprint to that player and try and put him under pressure. And he kind of did a little dawdly run, and Reece Norrington-Davies just took it on himself to sprint to the defender and try and put him under pressure. And I just feel like Norrington-Davies is a left wing back. 𝐍𝐸 plays in front of him. 𝐍𝐸 should be trying to break his neck to try and put pressure on him, because at that point the defender didn't have the ball. So it's like, put pressure on him. He may mess up or even give you the ball himself, or you might even be able to nick it off him. But the fact that Norrington-Davies is having to sprint to close the player down and possibly be out of position, I just didn't like that from 𝐍𝐸, and he really, really did just stand off him. Norwood played a couple of passes to him where he just kind of let them go or let them take the ball off him, and it really, really annoyed me in this game. It really, really did, guys. And here it comes, the disallowed goal on the 73rd minute, I believe, Corner comes in, it gets headed out. Norwood strikes it. Like I said earlier, it came off Jack Robinson's back, apparently, and ended up in the back of the net. Jack Robinson was not offside, I have been told. Like I said, I've only seen one angle of this, and that was where it was from. So I want people to let me know in the comments right now, why was that disallowed? Was it disallowed? Did they think that it come off Billy Sharp? But why is the linesman giving it from that's all the way over there when surely all he needed to do was go up to the linesman, have a little bit of a chat, and he says, "Oh yeah, it hit Sharp and went in, and he were offside," or I think Sharp was interfering with play when he wasn't. The referee and the linesman need to get together and have a conversation about that, because from what it sounds like from some Blades fans on Twitter, it sounds like that was a big mess up, and the fact that they didn't show it on the highlights just after the match says to me that they've made a big mistake there. So yeah, not very good, and that would have been 3 points to the Blades, would have been back in the playoffs. But instead, we are 9th in the table. Don't get me wrong, we are not far off kind of 4th even, but this would have taken us back into the playoffs. And yeah, we would have gone into Barnsley on Saturday at home, full of confidence. But yeah, hopefully we'll go into this with full of confidence, because I think we played very well for probably 55 minutes of this 90-minute game, which is not bad, to be fair, because we were under the cosh for some of that second half. We really were. 67th minute, Reece Norrington-Davies runs through. He's full of energy, but it just needed to be laid out wide to somebody who is better going forward than him. He takes it on with his right foot. It's never, ever. It almost didn't even reach the goal line. Never mind end up in the back of the net. Really frustrating. It was a very scrappy second half. The first half was very good. The second half, very scrappy for both teams, really. It really was. In the 87th minute, the ball was launched in from Jack Robinson. My problem with this was that Jack Robinson's launching this in. He's got a bit of a tight space to throw this into the box. So you'd expect more players to be at the front post, because he's not got much running room to launch that in. But there's only Egan that is attacking this ball. One player. Kieran Gordon's big enough and old enough to play in this game, so he needs to be getting in there, winning that ball. Jack Robinson can't be in there. He's launching that ball into the box. So Sander Berger needs to be in and around there, whether he's heading the ball or not. He needs to be putting them under pressure. We need to be I don't know, we just need to throw men at it. How we scored the goal against Blackburn, we had McBurney, Egan, someone else, I think, all just jumping at that ball to try and cause confusion, to try and just win it, try and get something on it, so that the ball may eventually find the back of the net. But yeah, it just weren't good enough, that. And to add insult to injury, in the 89th minute, Howrahan was in a fantastic position. Norwood, all he had to do was just lay the ball nicely into his path, and he is on that left-hand side with either easy pass into Sharp for a shot or a shot himself, and Norwood just overhits it. It goes out for a goal kick, and that's pretty much it. In the 92nd minute, Aussie miscontrols it, and they nearly end up going through and scoring a goal. Could you imagine that? If they'd have done that, that'd have been devastating for the lads. They'd have gone into Saturday being devastated. But 1 point from the last two games, for me, is not promotion winning or even getting into the playoffs form. So the boys really need to be better. I'm not going to go through every player in this game because I've been talking for quite a while. I'm going to quickly go through some of the comments and then I'm going to leave it, to be honest. John says, what a travesty. I don't understand why Ollie's goal was disallowed. I think we need to hear something from somebody about this because I don't think any of us knew, John. None of us. Totally agree with Chris. Hecky has done a great job overall so far, but his use of subs has recently been questionable, to say the least. We are wasting Jefferson. Yeah, I think you're right. It was pretty pointless putting Asula on for a minute. 𝐍𝐸𝐽�0 should have been brought on with 10 minutes to go, in my opinion. I could see why he brought on Hourihane, but other than that, we've not really got many options, have we? Heard a lot of good things about the Nixon Gomez. But I just feel like, what's the point in even putting him on the bench if they're not going to get anywhere near coming on the pitch? Now, yeah, fair enough. It's nice for him to be on the bench. It's nice for him to be in and around the lads. But if you're not going to, if Hecky's not thinking for a second that he's going to bring him on, it's pretty pointless us even looking at thinking, oh, he's on the bench, because he's not going to be brought on at all. We are not using anyone from the bench to say how exhausting the players look. We should be giving those players a chance. No excuse to give them the opportunity. Not sure. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. I agree. Keep dropping points, and we're going to run out of games before we know it. I know this is a big problem. We've got loads and loads of injuries. But that first 11 is good enough, in my opinion, to beat anyone in this division. So we can't just say, oh, we've got loads of injuries. That's what we're going to blame it on. Now, yeah, you can blame it on that to a certain extent, because the players will be tired. But after the international break, they've all had, hopefully we're going to beat Barnsley, go into the international break, very what's the word? Sort of rejuvenated, and then rejuvenate even more over the international break. That would be great. I don't really want to see Sander Berge go on international duty with Norway, because if he picks up an injury, that would just be Sheffield United all over this season. Throw someone on, rather get 3 points than settle for a point when there's a chance. It doesn't make sense. 1 point against Blackpool, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think if we'd have lost for confidence, that probably would have been the worst thing in the world. So it is frustrating watching the Blades not score a goal. But let's pick some positives. It's great to see us not concede a goal. That is good. We dominated the match in the first half. Our pressing was back. It was like the Borough game in the first half, with hunting them down in packs. I like to see that. That's all I really want to see. If United can do that every single week, we will be in the playoffs, no problem. But it's when it's lethargic, like the Coventry game. And really, you never see two teams press each other really, really hard. It's normally one team pressing the other and the other not being able to deal with it. Especially with us, we either are the pressing team or we get pressed. And when we get pressed, we need to counter that. We need to be better on the ball. We need to use it better, and we need to do it back to him. We're just not sometimes. The first half, like I said, was fantastic. The second half was not the best, but we certainly should have nicked that game. We're going in and out for the rest of the season. Will be good. In Hecky, we trust. Yeah, there's so many teams in and around the playoffs that all we need to do is put together a couple of wins, a draw, another win, and we'll be back in the playoffs, no problem. Everybody's playing everybody as well. Like tonight, Millwall beating Huddersfield. Everybody's beating everybody. Luton have just smashed Preston 4-0, and they lost to QPR, I believe it was, in the last game. So, guys, people are going to drop points left, right, and centre. We're going to drop points. I'm glad we've got these 2 away games out of the way, but I would have liked to have seen at least 2 points, if not 3 or 4. Anyway, we move on to the next one, guys. Yeah, not much else to say about a 0-0 draw. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you for the Barnsley preview on Friday night. Thanks a lot. See you then.